Welcome back to another episode of the Tracy Take. Today we are going to be predicting who the division winners are going to be of each division, and it's going to be really exciting because the NFL season is only a couple days away. And if this comes out on Friday, you already know who won against the Buccaneers and Cowboys, and maybe they're going to win their division. Who knows? Not if they lose. If they lose, then they're out. But before we get into it, make sure that you subscribe to our channel and also hit that notification bell so you can get notified when we create new content. Like this video, comment on this video, help us out with the YouTube algorithm, and also let us know if we are correct or incorrect or if we look good or not. Honestly, just comment on the video if you want. But anyways, so we're going to try and do about a minute to 2 minutes on each division. That way then this video is not too long. So let's start with the NFC North. Green Bay Packers are going to win. That feels like about a minute. Okay, now let's move on to the NFC East. This is going to be a very tough division. On paper, for me, Ryan, I think the Cowboys should win, but it seems like they always end up, I guess, losing or just by their own fault,
I just don't think the Cowboys' defense is very good. And when you look at the history of this division, the team with the best defense usually wins.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, that's clearly Washington. I think Washington clearly has the best defense. And their offense, to me, took huge steps up, getting Curtis Samuel and then they drafted the wide receiver whose name is escaping me, Diami Brown, to complement Terry McLaurin. So for me, I think that Washington football team is the most dangerous in this division, and they probably have my pick. This is definitely the closest of all the divisions, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Just for all the wrong reasons.
So. Yeah. It's going to be close because it's not going to be too many stellar teams coming out of there. But when I say that with the Cowboys, it's nothing against WFT. It's just that the Cowboys on paper their offense is so explosive and they have good talent on the defense, but man, their talent is just, they haven't been able to get things together. They have a new defensive coordinator, obviously, and Dan Quinn. We've talked about this with the Cowboys season preview, but Washington, it just seems like it's more established. They seem much better coached. I will say that's one of the biggest things. After watching Mike McCarthy last year, he made a lot of mistakes that I think cost him the game. And Ron Rivera, I think, is actually a very solid coach in my opinion. So, no chance in the Giants of the Eagles winning this year. They're both, I think, in rebuild mode. Actually, the Eagles are. The Giants, I think, just suck. I think they have a good defense, but their offense seems abysmal.
And the Eagles have potential to me. I just still think they're really young. I don't have full faith in Jalen Hurts yet. But I think the Eagles could potentially be a dark horse this division. Like you said, the Giants, I just don't think are very good. Moving on to the NFC South, I think this one is almost as easy as the NFC North. I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to get this division relatively easily. Sorry to say that to you in your Falcons jersey.
I just hope we don't finish last. Or if we finish last, let's get the first pick. Why not? But I agree with you. Now the difference though, I think, with the Packers in the North, which we talked about in great detail at the beginning of this video, is there's a lot of good question marks, I think, for the other three remaining teams. If Jameis Winston can come in and can perform well and be consistent and be the elite quarterback we all thought he could be coming into the NFL, the Saints could be a tough team to beat. If Sam Darnold meshes really well with Carolina Panthers, they have a good defense. They have a lot of good offensive weapons. They could be a tough team to beat as well in the NFC South. The Falcons, they have Matt Ryan still. No, I'm just kidding. But they do still have Matt Ryan. They do still have a very explosive offense, and they can put up a lot of points. They are probably the weakest team because similar to Dallas, a lot of defensive question marks. Don't really have much of a running game, not like the Cowboys. But the safe bet I would say is the Buccaneers, and that's who I think is going to win the division for sure.
Yeah, and then I agree. And then moving on to the last division in the NFC West. To me, this is a really close one. I personally like Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers. I just think that offense is so creative. They have so much talent around the ball, all the way from George Kittle to Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel, Trey Sermon out of the backfield, and then potentially bringing in Trey Lance on some gadget plays. To me, that team is unpredictable, and their defense is back and healthy. So I like the 49ers. That one is really close between, to me, the 49ers and the LA Rams.
It's close in a good way, unlike the NFC East. But another team, well, here, I'll talk about the LA Rams. Yeah, I think the LA Rams getting Matt Stafford, I think that's an overall upgrade in the league quarterback. Not saying Jared Goff, I think, is a solid quarterback, but I think Matt Stafford just gives you another edge. He's had great seasons that were not really appreciated with his time in Detroit. I think he's going to come over, being that Sean McVay offense. I think it's going to be very exciting. I'm curious how the injury with Cam Akers is going to affect that offense. They have Darrell Henderson, who is going to step into that role. I think he's going to do very well. Defense, I think, is still one of the top defenses in the league, even though they have lost a couple of pieces. The team to look out for, and their defense is a question mark, Arizona Cardinals. I think Arizona Cardinals, they were in the playoff hunt. They faltered a little bit towards the end, but Kyler Murray's coming into his third year, correct?
Yeah.
Right? DeAndre Hopkins is in his prime. They have a veteran, A.J. Green. I think they have an exciting running back in Chase Edmonds coming up. They have just a solid offense. Defense can improve. They were middle of the road last year. I think they have a chance. They have an outside shot.
Yeah.
Division rivals. They like all these games. They've always played tough. Don't count the Cardinals out. That's one. I think that's going to be a flyer that they could definitely put a big damper into the playoff race.
So I don't want to count them out. It's going to be tough for them. That secondary is terrible.
I agree.
And I just don't see how they'll be able to compete against a team like San Francisco, who will consistently be able to put pressure on Kyler and have the athletes on defense to keep him from just running wherever he wants, then having free will on offense. I think that's really tough on them. But I think they will be competitive and will be improved. I just don't know. That division is really tough.
It's really tough. It's really tough. And I think the Seahawks, we haven't mentioned them, and I think because we both said it in our season preview for them, they're going to take the back seat on this season because I think the other teams are just too good in that division. But that's going to wrap it up with the NFC. We got Green Bay, Tampa Bay, split between probably leaning towards Washington on winning the division. And then also the 49ers winning the division in the NFC. Moving on to the AFC, sticking in the same order, starting with the AFC North. We're going to stick with the family here, at least for me. I'm going Cleveland Browns, especially after J.K. Dobbins goes down. Only because I think Gus Edwards fits, will come right in and will have the same production. However, they don't have anyone behind him. So that's going to take a huge hit to their running game, unless if Gus Edwards can make up for both of them and have a 1,600-yard rushing season. But I think this can take a huge hit, and I think the Browns are going to pull out the division this year.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think the Browns it really improved this offseason on an already solid team, and I think that they're going to be looking forward to hopefully a playoff run deeper than the divisional round. So, so I think the Browns are going to pull it out. I do want to go ahead and move on to the AFC East, where sadly the Patriots are not going to win the division. I think the Buffalo Bills are just too good.
Yeah, I think so as well.
I think the Patriots will have a chance at a wild card, but the Buffalo Bills, Josh Allen is legit. And Stephon Diggs is top 5 receiver in the league. And so those two right there, I think propelled them to a division title right there. And so the other teams in the league, the Jets and the Dolphins and the Patriots, I think are all rebuilding. They're just all in different stages. I think the Patriots are trying to do a quick one, and the Dolphins are trying to develop talent, whereas the Jets are just now getting in fresh young talent.
Well, Miami's going to be the one. The Jets are going to be the bottom feeder. They're going to be a fun team to watch. I think the Patriots can make the playoffs. I think they have the talent to make the playoffs. Miami's going to be the big X factor. I think they could really contend with the Bills, probably maybe a little bit more so than the Patriots can, or they might potentially be challenging the Jets as who finishes fourth in the division. We just don't know. Tua can come in and be that guy, or he could still obviously show some development, or show that he needs some development. But moving on now to the AFC South, this is a 2-horse race in my opinion, and it's not between Houston Texans and Jacksonville Jaguars. I think Houston's going to finish first, if not second, behind the Detroit Lions in the draft, or for picking second. To me, I'm leaning towards the Indianapolis Colts personally. I think that they are just a better, well-rounded team. Yes, there's a big question mark on Carson Wentz and how he's going to perform. Also, his health. How's he going to rebound from the foot? And I know you're probably thinking the Titans' offense is so dynamic, but that defense is horrible. The defense is just not good. I don't think they're going to be able to rebound from how abysmal it was last year. I think that's going to end up being a detriment for them. I think the Colts are going to win 10, 11 games this year, and the Titans are going to go 9-7 again. Or not 9-7, 9-8, 10-7, around there.
I agree. I'm also going to pick the Colts. I think that their team is going to be much more sustainable. The Colts, throughout the past few years, have had one of the best offensive lines in the league. They have a good young receiving core, kind of led by T.Y. Hilton's not young, but Paris Campbell and Michael Pittman Jr. are very young. And so I really think that the Colts have a system for success, whereas Tennessee's defense just doesn't allow them to compete in close games. So But lastly, let's move on to the AFC West, where this one could honestly be as short as the NFC North. I mean, Kansas City is top 3 team in football. Can't really.
Yeah, maybe top 2.
Honestly. The only other team in this division that I think is really going to compete with them is going to be the Los Angeles Chargers. But they're still really young. I think they could win double-digit games, but they're going to have to win 14 games this year to really compete with Kansas City.
And the one thing with the Chargers that their question mark is going to be, honestly, is that offensive line. They had the weakest offensive line last year. They did address it, but it just takes time to develop to get that chemistry. And so another one is like, even if it's not the bet, just the smart bet is just a bet on the Kansas City Chiefs.
Look, as long as Patrick Mahomes is there, I'm going to bet on the Kansas City Chiefs. So.
Absolutely.
But those are the Tracy Take division winners for 2021. These are our final predictions before the season starts. So if you have not already, please go ahead and like and subscribe and hit that bell notification for the YouTube algorithm, and so we can send you a message every single time we post a video. So thank you guys for watching, and make sure to stay tuned throughout the season to keep up with our latest takes.